Imagine becoming a star featured on multiple chart
Bro, low-key, I fuck with Iggy, bro.
topping hits, blowing up into a household name
I'm so
overnight.
fancy.
Of fame to come
You already
crashing down
know.
even faster than it began. Now,
Wait,
her
that's her,
somewhat
right?
fabricated backstory and persona are being exposed.
Bro, she should have never went into music, and she should have just been a model and an actress. I like her music, yeah.
World's laughing stock. Well, that's exactly what happened to today's deep dive subject.
Her rapping is bad. I don't know.
Hi, I'm Jade.
And I'm Shelby.
Welcome to Deep Dive. Today, we're diving into the tragic Hollywood story
Diving
of
into my
Iggy
butt.
Azalea, and how the rapper whose name was on everyone's lips completely ruined her career trajectory in a matter of weeks.
She really
Buckle
did,
up
bro.
and grab your pitchforks, 'cause this one
Like,
is a bumpy
they asked her to
ride
do
full of
like
controversy,
2 or 3 or 4
relationships, news,
freestyles,
some of Iggy's
and those
darkest
freestyles cooked her
secrets,
whole ass
all at the
career.
hands of Nicki Minaj's intense legion of
Maybe
fans. And
start
when the
digging
Mars attack,
twin.
no one
You'd
is
love
safe.
that. Working out twerk. This video I have a double motive for. Listen, Iggy Azalea.
Now, if you want to see anyone to go in the
She's
other
top
5
tier.
million users using, click the link in the deep dive. Amelia Kelly had very humble beginnings.
Give her
Growing up
tracks.
on
Oh,
Azalea
she's got some
Street in
bangers.
Mullumbimby, Australia, a tiny little quaint town with a population of only 3,000 people. Her father
boring,
Brendan
Liv.
had built her childhood home by hand, one mud brick at a time, and her mom Tanya
Mud
worked
brick.
hard cleaning holiday homes and hotels. From a really young age, it was clear that Amethyst, aka Iggy, didn't fit in with the small farm
there'll be
life,
plenty.
often feeling really isolated from her peers. She is likened growing up in Mullumbimby to prison.
Mullumbimby.
Nobody ever leaves. A place that will punish you for being different or for having dreams. By 11 years old, she was depressed and felt really alone.
That's how I grew up. I was in a small, tiny town, and I wanted to be a streamer, and I wanted to be a YouTuber and DJ, and everyone punished me. Everyone pushed me around, shoved me in lockers, and the police would constantly drive past my house every day. In that town, they punished you for having dreams, big dreams, chat.
Until she played Tupac's
You
Baby
understand.
Don't Cry. Discovering rap music changed Iggy's life and would
It's
become
like
her
that.
escape from reality.
I don't know, I just felt like I was kind of stuck in a rut, and my happiness kept deteriorating over time, and it seemed to be getting worse and worse and worse. Music was the biggest part of my life. It was the only thing that I had that I felt like made me happy and got me kind of through my day. And
Becoming a rapper wasn't just
But here's the only crazy thing is she's dating Neon now. Like, that's crazy, bro. Biggest fumble of her life. Neon is crazy.
Iggy's dream, it was her obsession. And despite being just 14 years old, she was ready to do whatever it took to make her dream a reality. But first, she needed access to a studio to start recording.
I definitely have like the ultimate respect for my mother. I sat down and I was like, please, I want to be a rapper. And I remember she said to me, well, if you want to be a rapper, then what do you need to do? And I said, people need to hear my music, and
She
I don't have
is,
any
yeah.
recordings to have. And she said, well, open it
What up,
up, find a
Jelani?
recording studio that you can go to, and we can figure it out. And she gave me $200, and she went and did it, and it meant something to me.
Breaking into the hip-hop world all the way from Australia proved to be pretty much impossible. Iggy would go to rap battles and send her music to all the hip-hop labels
Making
Australia had to
music,
offer,
I don't know.
No one took her seriously. All of Iggy's
The
efforts
hell?
to get discovered would cause her to fall so behind
Was
in high
supportive,
school that she
real.
would end up dropping out. Iggy was nowhere near ready to give up on her dream. She knew that if she wanted to make it in the industry,
She looked like a
she had to
groupie.
fly across the world to the home of hip-hop. America, but that required
America.
money and a lot of it. To stash cash, Iggy started working with her mom Tanya cleaning houses. But eventually, Tanya would be offered a job as a real estate agent, handing over her cleaning business to Iggy, who was now only 15 years old. During this time, MySpace had completely blown up, forever changing the way the world discovered music.
Dang.
Instead of sending demo tapes
MySpace.
to record labels, artists could simply post their
Industry
music to
plant,
MySpace and
my
grow a
heart.
massive audience. This gave Iggy the opportunity.
Damn, I wish I was
start
old
connecting
enough for
with people in
MySpace to
America.
really
So
enjoy
when she wasn't
it.
running her cleaning business, she was posting raps to MySpace.
Like, I remember
and networking with
MySpace, but
music
like,
producers in the
I was
States.
so young, I
After an
couldn't really
entire year
function
of
on it
nonstop
properly.
grinding, Iggy had finally
Great
saved up enough
era.
money to leave Australia.
Music
So
MySpace
around her
is the
16th birthday, she
moment.
booked a flight to Miami.
Damn, that was iconic. I'm sad I didn't. You guys are lucky you got to experience it. What up, Sherigan? Sherigan.
Telling her parents she was very
Oi.
depressed and just needed to go on a holiday.
Now, did you leave at 16?
Why did we ever leave from Facebook? Facebook was hot for a minute too, bro, back in the day. Damn, honestly, that's kind of crazy. Or Mike, come down. Bro, it's kind of crazy because, I remember, dude, Facebook was lit for a while. Like, there was so much drama, and, dude, I actually used Facebook. I haven't used Facebook in probably, like, 8 years. No joke. Like, I don't use Facebook. So, it's just kind of crazy, like, but I used it a lot back in the day. I probably used it from, like, ages, like, 14, like, 17.
You go.
You don't go stay with any.
Nah, a lot younger. Like, definitely, like, 9 or 10. 'Cause I used to have to lie about my age all the time. To join it first. That's because look, he sucks. I only have it for some member. No, I haven't touched it in forever.
Anyone, you go.
So you didn't have family out?
No, I didn't have
No
anyone.
family.
Yeah, no, I had no one. So I went to
Nard.
Miami. I had a lot of money saved. I've been working full time for about a year, and I went and stayed in an alright type of hotel for a little while, and lived there for maybe a month or two, and then met people and got roommates and ended up figuring it out.
Iggy was 16, stuck in the middle of Miami with no family
Nar.
and just enough money to get her by for a few months.
It sucks.
She now needed to figure out her
Claire.
next move. But
Bro, Liv, I want to hear you say that. Claire. Condensation.
there was a major problem. Iggy was in the U.S.
Iggy,
on a
Iggy,
travel
Iggy,
visa,
can't
which
you
means
see?
She could not legally work or make money. Plus,
Bim,
she
bim,
would have
bim.
to fly
Bro, that'd be a fire remix for her.
back to Australia every few months in order to not overstay her tourist visa, in order to live and pay for all of those
Hey,
flights.
somebody's got a birthday coming up at midnight. So, bro, the first bits of the goddamn stream coming from Freakosaurus. Yo! Thanks for the love. I appreciate that.
Iggy had to start working under the table jobs, and she even admitted to
That means a
running
lot.
gift card
Thank you so
scams,
much.
essentially selling people gift cards that didn't have a balance on them for extra cash. Fast forward to 2008, things
8
just
gift
began
cards.
panning out for Iggy in Miami. So around her 18th birthday, she packed up and moved to Houston, Texas, to find Mr. Lee, a legendary music producer who has worked with
Aw.
massive artists like Tupac and Drake. See, Mr. Lee had
Did
actually
at
discovered Iggy
midnight.
on MySpace
Who?
years prior,
I don't
and
remember.
told her to find him once she turned 18.
It was in 2008, and I met her through Mr. Lee. A little white girl from Australia, like that's crazy, ain't it? So she told her mama that Mr. Lee was gonna make her a superstar. She amped it. She was actually dope, creatively dope. How she dressed, style, she an artist, know how to paint, draw. She was gifted, and I'm like connected to people like that. And of course, it went to hell, but that's how it started.
Mr. Lee would
That's
introduce
crazy.
Iggy to Houston-based rapper Maurice Williams, aka Wino, and together the
What up,
two would begin
Caitlin?
mentoring Iggy. Mr. Lee would
What up,
help elevate
stranger?
her raps to the next level, and Wino would assist in developing her writing skills. But this arrangement became toxic very quickly, as Wino and Iggy's relationship turned from professional to romantic. He would
Oh,
begin to insert himself
damn.
into Iggy's life in
Insert
every way
himself
possible,
is
even
crazy.
convincing her to live with him shortly after meeting. It's important to note that at the time, Wino was 33 years old, almost
God
double his
dang.
age. See, Wino knew his 18-year-old girlfriend was destined for stardom, so dating her wasn't enough. He set out to become her manager, getting Iggy to sign a management
She did.
contract.
She's
Now,
18.
this will be important for later on in the video. Anyways, Mr. Lee, Wino, and Iggy would all work together for the next year, recording various demos which leaned heavily into pop music.
I knew that she would be a mega star if she stuck to pop rap. I knew the hood and the black community wasn't gonna respect you trying to do that. And it
Damn.
backfired on her. But as we see, her greatest hit is the one that was pop, hip hop. And that's the stuff that I was producing on.
Shortly after Hurricane Ike hit the Houston area, Iggy and Wino would move to Atlanta, Georgia to continue working on
Georgia
music,
is
but the two
crazy.
began bumping heads, specifically over Iggy feeling pressured to be more pop. And on Valentine's Day 2009, they would get into a massive fight where Iggy would end the relationship for good. This is when things started to turn around for Iggy in Atlanta. She met her best friend turned manager, Shauna Peasy, and would even get sponsored to attend the marvelous
Shauna
Enterprises Artist
Peasy.
Development Center, which is like a performer's boot camp. This is where she would spend months working on her stage presence and learning to
Bro,
dance in
it's always kind of interesting to hear people's journey, like how long it takes, how much they had to go through, how much time, how many times they tried something and it didn't work out, and they had to crumple it up and throw it away and start a new plan, and just love you too, Caitlin. It's crazy. It gives a lot of perspective, you know. I mean, I can see that in my life too, looking back on it, I guess. Like, so many things I tried didn't work, and I tried something else, and just keep trying, just never give up.
However, these sponsors wanted her to be
Never
more
give
like
up,
Britney Spears.
never surrender.
They told her, quote, she was white and didn't look like she could rap. People weren't going to get it. At this point, Iggy was fed up with no one taking her seriously as a rapper and was ready to start completely over. She had met music producer Paul.
Well, she sucks at rapping,
He is
so
behind Fergie's biggest hits and wanted to work with Iggy because she looked like a star. So in the summer of 2010,
I think they were trying to give you a
Iggy and
favor.
her best friend Shauna to LA, where he would take them under his wing, introducing them to massive artists like Dr. Dre, Timbaland, and T.I. But just like all of Iggy's former mentors, he felt she should be more pop, telling her no one is going to, quote, buy her being hood. Due to these creative differences, they would part ways. Iggy had now been in America.
but she
for
wants to
almost
rap,
5
so
years,
I
and
respect
didn't
it.
take matters
I respect it. She's just not trying to get a bag and become famous and this like some people. She really wants to rap.
her own hands, or else
Never
she would
what?
be having to go back to Australia.
Facts.
To get noticed, Iggy started a music channel on YouTube where she posted videos of herself rapping. Plus, she began working on a mixtape titled Ignorant Art. In September of 2011, Iggy released the track PU$$Y with an accompanying music video on YouTube. She didn't know it at the time, but this was her career breakthrough, as Perez Hilton would post the music video on his blog, and seemingly overnight,
I feel like I low-key remember that.
You've got the internet on fire right now, obviously.
Lost your bandit, never not bad, I lost your bandit. I do it right with drugs, understand it. I do it right now, please surtain it.
I want to try to find this medium where it's
She
like,
hood though.
it's ratchet,
No.
but then it's still lyrically good. Right. So that's what it's about. It's like it's
Well,
a
that's the
mix.
holy grail for rap right there.
Right. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Iggy Azalea's 2011 fame catapulted her into rooms she
2011
would have never
is
been before.
crazy,
It
bro.
actually made her a staple in the rap world, not only as an up-and-comer, but
As a
the
little baby.
ultimate Australian baddie.
Kinda
The
miss
instant
her.
recognition
It was
Iggy
just
had music
It was just a good time. Things were less serious back then, less consequential. Time moved slower. Texas in 2011. I was in elementary school.
executives quaking, and Interscope Records were the
Quaking.
first label to actually take the bait. See, in December of 2011, Iggy would reveal the title for her upcoming record, The New Classic.
Were you reluctant at all when you first came up with the title? Were you like, should I be doing this early?
No, because I think people misconstrue what that statement means. I wanted to do something that was a time capsule or
The hair is
reflective of my
crazy.
generation of music and what I think will be a classic sound one day. And I want people to talk about that and hear different types of music in my album. So that's why I named it that.
Now, Iggy paired this with the news that she'd be signing with a major label very soon. As
I kinda
JID
respect her
and
sticking
Iggy
to the
had been in
rap
talks,
stuff,
this label
but-
push would be just what Iggy needed to hit the world stage. The next month, in January of 2012, Iggy announced her new
Yeah, but
deal with Interscope
Iggy's a
Records.
baddie,
Jimmy
bro, but
Iovine
she
reportedly
cannot
called
fucking
Iggy
rap.
Azalea, quote, the next
Shawty a 10. She sound good on mute.
Tupac.
Why Interscope Records?
That's how I listen to
You
it.
know what? I've had some kind of affiliation with them for some time, just writing for other people, and I spoke with a lot of other labels.
Def Jam was a possibility.
Definitely, I love everybody over at Def Jam, but at the end of the day, I just
Doesn't even sound Australian. You don't even use Australian lingo, so. Are you even Australian? I think I use more Australian lingo than you.
I had a stronger relationship with Interscope.
According to Iggy, around this time, she would be contacted by world-famous rapper T.I. Now, if you ask T.I., he said Iggy contacted him. Either way, the two would develop a very public friendship and working relationship, which would actually lead to Iggy signing a management deal under T.I.'s label, Grand Hustle Records. However, Interscope was not a fan of her management deal with T.I., and they even
been told that before. Someone walked up to you and said, "You're more Australian than Iggy Azalea." It's oddly specific, but
her to lose her record
I
deal with
believe you.
Interscope, thus making her a free agent.
Why was Hustle Gang the right place for you to be? Were there other deals on the table, or?
It was just the right fit for me at that time, at that point in my life. I think you go through phases and just the things I was experiencing in the industry. T.I.'s a really genuine guy and felt like he
Genuine
could help
guy.
me become a better musician.
She does have a weird Australian accent from ones I've heard.
In suits and offices could help me
Sort of thing,
to
am I?
progress like that.
Now, during the first half of 2012, Iggy would release a new EP titled Glory.
She looks a
featuring
little different in
collaborations
some of
with
those
T.I.,
pictures.
Mike Posner and rap superstar
Mike
at the time,
Posner.
B.O.B.. A few
He
months
was
later,
lit back in the day.
Island Records would announce that Iggy actually signed a deal with them,
Since
all to
16,
produce the
yeah.
new classic. And y'all, it's actually just kind of wild to me
Yes.
how Iggy Azalea's album title was out for 2 years before it was released. Anyway, all of the talk over Iggy's
She's
new
out.
projects
She's probably
caused
like
her to be named the
damn
only
near.
female rapper
How old
on
is
the
she?
iconic cover of XXL Magazine's up-and-coming rappers of 2012. This absolutely infuriated Azalea Banks, who'd already been shading Iggy for a couple months up
Yeah,
to this
she's
point.
35.
The timeline actually starts back on October 19th, 2011. Azalea
Yes.
Banks first mentioning Iggy Azalea's name on Twitter, saying, quote, "How sexy is Iggy Azalea? It's kind of ridiculous." Tugs call her to let out steam. The very next day, Azalea's tune completely changed, saying, quote, "Once wrote a song called Barbie,
Dev got a
but Nicki Minaj
chance.
blew it up like a week
You should
after,
see who this.
so I took it
Who
down,
she's
LOL.
dating right
I
now.
felt corny. Also wrote a song called $$Y before Iggy Azalea. Iggy responded to Azalea saying, "It's never been about who did it first. It's always about who did it better." The next day, Iggy
Damn.
made the ginormous
Ate her
mistake of directly misquoting Azalea Banks to the news. And Azalea took note of this, as she would ominously tweet the very next
From a
day,
young
"I
age,
smell."
get your woman
Now,
to
around
oh
the same
shit.
time, Iggy Azalea would be rumored to be dating A$AP Rocky, Azalea Banks' hometown friend who she grew up with in New York City. A few months into Iggy and A$AP's relationship, A$AP would be spotted holding hands with none other than Azalea Banks.
Ew.
This ignited a fire in Iggy, as the next time she was asked about her feud with Azalea, she explained, "I have no deal with her. I don't know her personally. What would I have a problem about? I don't
Fuck,
know that
smell
person.
beef.
I don't know you. I truly don't understand it. I
don't
keep
think
making
they're
my own music,
dating.
and I'm deaf to that. What is there to say?"
A$AP and
For
Iggy,
weeks,
you know they're
Azalea
dating?
would ominously subtweet Iggy,
Bro,
all
they have a
leading up
kid
to the
together.
XXL Magazine cover drop, when she would finally unleash her wrath on Iggy, tweeting Iggy's cover saying, "Iggy Azalea on
Iggy.
the XXL freshman list is..."
Lol. Let me look it up.
all wrong. How can you endorse a white woman who called herself
Who
a...
knows?
Sorry guys, I'm pro-black girl. I'm not anti-white girl. But I'm also not here for anyone outside of my culture trying to trivialize very serious aspects of it. Azalea's referring to Iggy's track entitled DRUGS. Now the next month, Iggy Azalea would have to go on a press tour to address the lyric that Azalea put on blast.
The day the cover came out, there was some controversy because another female, Azalea Banks, quickly jumped out of the window on Twitter and said that she was basically not happy with you being on the XXL cover.
Was she unhappy with Iggy being on there, or was Azalea Banks unhappy because she was not on there?
I think that's a fair question for Azalea Banks.
You know?
This is my day and it's my achievement,
Sure.
okay? So you have to work to have your own achievements with all due respect. So instead of worrying about who else is on there, you should just be happy that I'm on there as a woman,
Sure.
for women. And if you want to have an achievement, work and earn your own achievements. I can't take what's meant for you, and you can't take what's meant for me.
The very next
Damn.
day, Iggy would release her official
Low-key
statement
kinda real.
apologizing for the Runaway Master lyric.
It was a remix of the Kendrick Lamar song, and that was his line, and a lot of the lines in it I followed closely because I really liked the song. And when I wrote it and I was in a room full of black guys,
Say it, go ahead, say it. It's a whole nother.
I was like, you know, I don't know. Do you think I can really do this
so you
line?
questioned.
I questioned it when I did it, and everyone was like, no, you do it, like do it. It's cool, do it. And I
Damn,
did
they
it
set her up.
like an idiot. And then after,
She
I
spin
never
for a
really
what's
sat
fucking
right with
D.
me, and it was one of those things where it was like,
Tweet.
should I do it to be controversial? I know what people are gonna think about this, or should I not? And to be honest with you, sometimes you do things that you wish you didn't, I suppose in a way for attention or to get noticed. And I was just starting out and I wanted to be noticed, and I can admit that now as a person. And I apologized for it and said, yeah, it was very tasteless and it was very tacky of me to do that, and it was young of me to do that, and I didn't need to cause controversy in that way to make people talk about me. And there are other ways that I can do that don't have to be negative or.
She's yapping a little bit now, but
Forcefully pushing her feud with Azalea Banks to the back burner. Now, after finally settling on a label,
Azalea
Iggy
Banks looks
began
scary.
work on the new classic in 2012.
I always hear
Now,
her
whenever
and like
2012
her
lands,
beefing with
a few
people
years
and
prior,
scary
Britney
stuff,
Spears
but I didn't know what
ended
she
her
looked
reign over
like.
music and switched to EDM, and new up-and-coming rap superstar Nicki Minaj ushered in a new wave of
Yeah, I
female
love
rappers
Nicki.
working with pop producers, scoring
Nicki
multiple
Minaj.
solo and collaborative hits on the Billboard charts. Suddenly, a new crop of artists began
She
coming up
crazy.
rapping over pop and EDM beats. Dev, Snow the Product, Brooke Candy, and most prominently Kesha began taking over social media. Viral song after viral song was produced during
My
this era.
heart,
Azalea
nah,
Banks,
Britney-
an artist who'd been bubbling over
Britney's
in years
a
prior,
peak,
rocketed
bruh.
off to success during this time as well. Her fiery lyrics, paired with her club and EDM beats, took the internet by storm. And she was truly the first female rapper since Nicki Minaj to dominate the world of rap in the way that she did. And see, that's what made Nicki such a powerhouse.
Bro, I don't know
She not only
anything
dominated the
about
rap
Azalea
world, but the
Banks.
pop music world as well. Now, this
I don't know
fashion
a singular
caused
Azalea
multiple
Banks
pop
song.
stars to switch
Not
to
gonna lie.
rap. Most prominently Miley Cyrus with her hit album Bangers, and Justin Bieber with his 2012 hit album Believe. Now, we've already covered Bangers.
Bro,
in depth.
Justin
All in a dedicated
Bieber-
video. The success of internet by storm rap in the way that the pop switched to music world. Most 2012 hit album Believe with her hit album Bangers, and Justin Bieber with his 2012 hit.
What the fuck? What the fuck did he? What the fuck were you ladies eating back then? Who the fuck did he think he was, bro? That's insane, bro. I remember seeing this as a kid growing up, and I was like, dude, Justin looks so sick, bro. He's tatted, he's jacked. I was like, he's rapping, bro. Just crazy. He's singing all the bitches. Wow. Wheaties. Bro looks weird.
Album Believe. Now, we've already covered Bangers in depth. All in a
This
dedicated
vid,
video.
really?
The success of Bangers boomed across
How
the
does it
industry.
hold up
Miley
now?
was the most talked about person in the year 2013, creating something
Obsessed,
entirely new.
mhm.
T.I. and Iggy's label wanted some of that virality for Iggy.
Bang, bang,
Thus,
bang.
the new classic would directly target every trend of the 2010s perfectly. Starting with
Didn't
elements
age
of
well,
EDM,
cringe
dance, and
now.
house music pumped throughout every track on the new classic. Iggy would rap about everything, from her upbringing to her career as a stripper, in the colorful, patterned,
Stripper.
Tumblr-centric world of the new classic. With
Damn,
her new
Turk, you
record
missed
deal
out on
with
those
Island
on
Def
those
Jam,
clubs
her
during
team
that
with
time
House,
period.
ultimately nuking T.I. from the project as an executive producer and demoting him to album collaborator. Iggy later clarified that the songs off her EP, Glory, were originally meant for the new classic, and he executive produced those songs. But Iggy ultimately decided that after working on Glory together,
My
it wasn't what
20s.
she
You
wanted
still are,
the
bro, and I
classic
love you
to
for
sound
it.
like at all.
Tip owns, I guess, not a piece of me, but you know what I mean. T.I. he's financially a part of it. He reaps
Face
the
card
benefits.
crazy, chat.
Does T.I. get a check? Yes. I was
Let
just
me
a
head
little
nerd
friend
down.
with no money or business.
I see the real you.
No, we have contracts
Through the
together.
muscle.
Yes, he's involved in the business. Am I signed to Grand Hustle? No, I'm signed to Def Jam.
Iggy don't have no boss. You know what I'm saying? That's not Iggy's style. Iggy don't have no boss. You know, she has collaborators.
True. I don't listen to T.I. Sorry, Tip. I love him. It's kind of like a friendship where I
Nerds
rarely
and
ask
proud,
for his opinion, but if I
amen.
do, and he gives it to me, I consider it, but I don't always go with it.
Instead, Iggy would snag producers Diplo and Steve Aoki, and the record would be slated for release in October of 2013. Now, in March of 2013, Iggy would finally release her commercial debut single, Work.
What's
along
Iggy's
with
best
an
song,
iconic
bro?
music video. Iggy Azalea would instantaneously walk her Louboutins a mile into everyone's hearts. And a month later, her second single, Bounce, would hit the radio in the UK and Australia. Her third single,
Good
Change
love.
Life, would change Iggy's life forever. As due to T.I.'s feature, she would actually be promoted in the US to an entirely new audience. As June of 2013 came, Iggy would announce the track list for the new classic, with Bounce and Work notably missing. Now, from June 2013 up until her release date in October, Iggy would go on a world tour with legendary rapper Nas and music.
That's crazy.
Beyonce. But as October
What? She went on tour with Nas and Beyonce and Iggy? Bro, what? 2013 was wild. What the fuck? You think of Change Your Life
13
Dang.
came, her label would block her release yet again, saying that because she'd be stuck in Australia with Beyonce, she wouldn't be able to properly promote her debut record. Iggy said at the time, after they pushed the release further back, the marketing team gets to control me, unfortunately.
Gotta
I
admit.
don't get to control that.
We're getting ready for the new album coming out next year.
March, finally.
Yes.
Well, makes me want to kill myself some days. It's good. I'm excited, and I feel like it's been a really long time coming.
On one cold night in December of 2013,
True
a
school.
song titled Leave It would surface online. Interestingly enough, with a DJ Mustard tag at the beginning, despite
No
not
way.
even being produced by him. 1 month later, on February 5th, 2014, the demo Leave It was finally announced as the 4th single from Iggy's upcoming album. The song was to feature UK pop icon Charlie XCX and be titled Fancy. This song would immediately hit off on the radio and would catapult Iggy and Charlie into true pop stardom. The corresponding music video recreated the cult classic film Clueless, which had just been added to Netflix at the time. The song's style and messaging completely blew up. If you flip through a radio in 2014,
Dude, I
the majority
remember.
of the airwaves would be filled
Is
with
that
either
old?
Fancy
Yeah.
or Problem, Iggy's collaboration with the one
Yes.
and only pop sensation Ariana Grande. Now, we've already gone in depth into Ariana's career in our Victorious video, but her
Great
song
movie, I
with
do
Iggy
remember
introduced
that.
her to a wide range of ages. This caused Iggy Azalea to rank alongside only the Beatles to have their first 2 #1 hits to chart at the same time. Iggy even passed rap icon
Damn.
Lil' Kim as the longest leading #1 hit by a female rap artist. Iggy Azalea was the hit machine, and her next song was written by the one and only blue-haired queen of candy herself, Katy Perry. It was featuring Rita Ora, and it would be called Black Widow, taking over the radio yet again.
Black
And
Widow.
just like that, Iggy Azalea was finally primed and ready to release her debut
Damn.
album, The New Classic. On April 22nd, 2014, the New
DVDs.
Classic
What up,
debuted
Drake?
to the world,
How was the
and this would
wedding?
launch Iggy Azalea into
And I love
super
it.
stardom.
On top
Great
of the world in
movie.
2014, the only artist since the Beatles to hold the #1 and #2 spots on the Billboard's Hot 100 simultaneously. But in a matter of months, everything changed. She faced criticism online and from fellow rappers as well.
Iggy was riding a superstardom high. She was in love with LA Lakers player Nick Young. Her album was winning award after award, and every single was
Damn.
going platinum, officially leaving a permanent mark on 2010's music. But someone from Iggy's past was ready to do whatever it took to try and get a piece of her success. Maurice Williams, aka Wino, aka Heavy Wine, her ex-boyfriend, saw what a star she had become and started shopping around an alleged explicit tape of Iggy and himself to Vivid Entertainment. Now, he said this was all legal because of the management contract she signed back when they were dating. On top of trying to sell
That's
this tape, which
so
was
fucking
illegal, he
evil.
was also attempting to release an EP under Iggy's name with music he had purportedly stolen off of Iggy's laptop. Now, if all of this wasn't horrible enough, why
I was so shook. You're fucked.
also filed filed a divorce petition in an attempt to get a judge to freeze Iggy's bank accounts, stating that they were, quote, common law married.
Sources say that Williams is also claiming that he and Iggy have written some music together, and therefore he's entitled to a half share in her earnings.
The Australian rapper has had it up to here with her ex, Hefe Wine, and is now suing him for violating a copyright and forging a contract.
This was
That's
clearly all a money
crazy.
grab that luckily didn't go anywhere. But Iggy's troubles were only
Wow,
just
that's
beginning,
fucked.
as her popularity was
Or
about to
Drake,
come
let's
crashing
be
down
Drake.
just as fast as it rose.
Okay, yeah, she's like, it's so
Accent
crazy.
on when rapping started to flood social media, gossip blogs, and radio station shows.
What accent is she trying to put on there? Like, it's weird, you know, she's from a small town called Mullumbimby, a rural Australian town, and then she speaks in a certain way, and then suddenly when she raps, I don't know what she's trying to sound like.
Who is she sounding like? When she speaks,
What up,
she sounds
Jada?
nothing like when she raps.
The
She
toss.
sound like you know what I'm saying? Eminem came out, he sounds like him.
Now you're from Australia, but when you listen to you rhyme, you think you're
can't
somewhere
hear.
in the A.
Yeah.
List at
You
the
have
strip
almost
club.
like a down south accent when you rhyme. What is that?
Yeah, I came and I moved over here to the south, and it's how I would hear people rap. And although obviously you can hear me talking, that I don't have a southern accent, but
I mean, to be fair, I guess that kind of makes sense. She moved to Houston when she was 16, and then to Miami, then to Georgia. So she's 26 now, been here for 10 years, and she's in like the 3 southern rap hot spots. So like, I guess if that's like the rappers and people who like taught her how to rap and she like came up with, I guess in her raps it would make sense she uses that inflection, but like, you know, in the hip hop community it's important, you know, to use like you're from there if you're gonna use that in like, your music. Not gonna lie, but it's insane.
when I would be rapping with
Saw
people
Suicide Boys today.
and I
How
would
was it?
do it that way, that's the way that they would just think it was cooler, and so I would think it was cooler to do it that way too. And I guess I just now I feel comfortable doing it that way. It's stuck, and it's hard to break it, and I don't really want to break it. Does it really hurt anybody? I don't think it does.
So if they were to say you're an imposter, your response?
I guess I am an imposter. I'm from Australia, right? So maybe I am. I don't know.
Nah, we don't do those.
Rumors then started
That's
swirling that
crazy.
Iggy, who has always claimed to write her own raps, had been using ghostwriters.
You make
This
it like
rumor
slang.
exploded into mainstream
I mean,
media
Drake
when
does it
Nicki
all the
Minaj
time. Drake does like Canadian. No, he is Canadian, but like before he didn't sound Canadian, and now he's back doing Canadian slang and stuff. But like before, he was very much like Atlanta, Houston, Atlanta, Vegas, like, and now he's back on like the Canadian, like almost like UK British like vibes. So good. It's so
takes the
normal.
stage of the 2014 BET Awards.
Which I don't
During
I
an
don't
acceptance
personally
speech for
mind
female
artists
hip-hop
switching
artists,
vibes
fans
and
believed
lanes and
Nicki was shading Iggy.
different
What I want
things.
the world to know about Nicki Minaj is when you hear Nicki Minaj spit, Nicki Minaj wrote it.
Clerk it.
No shade. No shade. No shade.
Many believe that was directed
Southern accent over the years. Your accent will change depending on where you're at if you're there long
I have
enough.
just as many people on my writing credits as she has on hers, so I don't think there's. I know I write mine. If she writes hers, I believe her too. But you can't look at the credits and be like, "Oh, look at this massive difference." It's the same number of people on both. So.
Right. Did you, when you heard that,
Dang.
did you think it was?
I don't know. I saw it on Twitter. I didn't really.
What up, frogs?
Anything.
I don't
Unless you
lose
say my
mine.
name, I'm not like I don't really have time to speculate. So.
Iggy,
Nah,
who
you've
up to this
lived
point
there
had
long
tried
enough.
to ignore all the backlash, was now firing back at anyone who had anything to say. And T.I. would come to Iggy's defense every single time she found herself in controversy, which
You just
was
gotta
pretty
rehearse
much
it
nonstop
too.
at this point.
Like
Her
really
next
put it
feud
on
would be
thick
with
all the
none
time.
other than Snoop Dogg.
She beef with Snoop.
Back at Snoop Dogg because he posted a picture on his Instagram account jokingly
a meme of this person right here, and it says Iggy Azalea, no makeup.
How disrespectful can you be, man?
Iggy Azalea took to her Twitter and said, at Snoop Dogg, why would you post such a mean pic on Insta when you send your bodyguards to ask me for pictures every time we had shows together? She also deleted her tweets, though, but she went on to say, my bodyguard
a
stopped
Florida
the fire
accent,
truck
a
that saved
jet
someone's life in
accent.
Canada when he almost burnt down the hotel. And every time I've spoken to you, you've always been nice as hell. I'm disappointed you'd be such an ass for no reason.
But the feud
Damn.
only heated up from here. Snoop would post a pic comparing Iggy to Marlon from White Chicks.
That's
Iggy would fire back with a
crazy.
pic of Snoop saying, when your addict aunt gets clean. There was even more back and forth between the two, but it required so much censoring that
Damn.
I actually can't even read it aloud. The feud, however, did come to a head after Snoop posted an explosive video on Instagram.
Snoop was like that on Twitter back, bro. Celebrities used to do crazy shit like that on Twitter. You remember that? Like you could like now like all their like all these celebrities accounts are so like corporatized because they're signed to these big contracts with like media companies, and so it's like this. But like back in the day, bro, celebrity, and they still do here and there, but they used to like just be fucking popping off on Twitter all the time, ranting. They'd pop off on you. It's crazy before people get canceled.
With the wrong. You funky. Yeah, you.
He told her to tell her word to put her in check. This is way more aggressive than anything he's done.
You think?
He posted a picture with a gun, and he says, keep talking.
T.I., who is
That's
friends with Snoop,
crazy.
would call him up to smooth things over on behalf of Iggy. Now, we don't know what was said on that call,
This is
but
days.
Snoop posted a video to his Instagram apologizing.
Boys and girls, I just got off the phone with my homeboy Tip, the king of Atlanta, and it's officially over. No more bad
It's
talk.
crazy.
I apologize. Yeah, I apologize. I'm sorry. I won't do it again.
When I called him after what's happening, he
Real
kinda,
as
hey,
fuck.
I know what you're calling for. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, I'm in the crossfire, big dog, and guess what? It's over. It's nothing because me and him have a long-standing relationship.
Iggy was now
Damn.
in a firestorm that she couldn't
They really are
escape,
some just real
and it was
ones.
only continuing to escalate. The tipping point was when Iggy got nominated for 4 Grammys. In an
God
interview with Hot
damn.
97, Azalea Banks opened up about how upsetting it was that Iggy was being nominated. Banks also took to Twitter calling Iggy out for being silent on
Seems
the BLM
sus.
movement.
You're
Iggy
sus.
responded to this by saying Azalea shouldn't use world problems to create fan wars.
I didn't know the level of cultural appropriation we were watching at the time, in terms of her then being embraced and Fancy becoming the quintessential rap song of the-
Okay, so here's the thing with Iggy Azalea. This is the thing. That Iggy Azalea is not better than any black girl that's rapping today, you know? And when they give those awards out, because the Grammys are supposed to be like
She
accolades
scares
for
me.
artistic excellence. You get what I mean?
Probably
Iggy Azalea is
am.
not excellent. I have a problem when you're trying to like say that it's hip hop and you're trying to like put it like up against black culture. Like it's like a cultural smudging. And when they give these Grammys out, all it says to white
That
kids is, like,
hairstyle
"Oh,
is
you're great,
crazy.
You're amazing. You can do whatever you put your mind to." And it says to black
The
kids,
jealous
you
of
don't
her.
The
A
25-year-old
fame
opened
mad
up
because
about
you know
her
pop. That's
difficult
all.
year in the April issue of Elle Canada. Quote, I think the Azalea Banks thing is what really started it all. We don't like each other on a personal level, and that has gone on for many years. The rapper tells Elle, quote, when I dismissed her, people started to
Ooh.
think that I dismissed the whole movement. But I wasn't trying to
Give
dismiss
zero
Black Lives
talent.
Matter. I was trying to dismiss her because it's our personal
Behind the scenes, T.I. was giving Iggy advice on how to handle all of the controversy surrounding her, but she refused to listen. T.I.'s final straw would be when rapper and producer Q-Tip took to Twitter to give Iggy a history lesson on hip-hop. Well, she responded saying that she found it patronizing, further stating that she wasn't going to sit
Damn.
on Twitter playing hip-hop squares, knowing she can't change anyone's cemented opinion of her. All of this would lead to Iggy's tour getting canceled. See, her Great Escape tour had already been postponed due to rumored low ticket sales, but she announced that she was officially canceling it because she needed a mental break. In an interview with Vanity Fair, Iggy
That
said she finally
sucks.
felt like the backlash she was receiving was due to her having a noting that artists like Macklemore weren't getting the same heat.
I still feel good about myself or my image, but I think it's been beat up a hell
Even
of a lot.
Azalea, I don't even know, bro. I just always,
I've had media training.
I've heard Azalea Banks just from watching all these YouTube videos and stuff on stream all the time. And then like she's always beefing with someone, always talking shit. She's always got a problem with somebody. I just realized my lights are moving hella fast. Slow them down. Chill, bud.
Emotionally void artist that just is like
You guys like the emojis I put in the title?
Necessarily having those like knee-jerk
A nice
reactions.
improvement, yeah.
Somebody born in June and a Gemini just cannot help.
Iggy would continue to be in a string of controversy, from flipping off her own fans to pissing off the fans of the Britney Spears.
It's Britney, bitch.
In summer of 2015,
What a collab.
Britney collaborated on a song titled Pretty Girls. In regards to the success of the song, Iggy
That
responded to a
is
fan on Twitter,
very
sparking
nice.
a quote feud. It is important to note that in 2015, Britney was very much still controlled by her conservatorship.
A fan asked Iggy not the nicest question,
Notice.
why the single Pretty Girls had, quote, flopped a little bit. And Azalea said, quote, it's difficult to send a song up the charts without additional promo and TV performances, etc. Unfortunately, I'm just featured. So many interpreted that as Iggy insinuating that it's partly Britney's fault that the song flopped. Britney tweeted, can't wait to get back to Vegas. So thankful I have shows for the rest of the year to look forward to. Hashtag, you want a piece of me. Now let's break this down. Iggy recently canceled her shows, which many believe was because of poor ticket sales.
The time has
so Britney
come.
could be throwing this in Iggy's face by gloating
But
about
fine
the fact
shit.
that she has shows to get back to.
The Britney army took to Twitter, unearthing and exposing old tweets by Iggy. At first, Iggy
Start
tried to
tomorrow. I'm
defend
kidding. Good night,
herself,
bruh.
saying that they
Love
were
you.
only meant for friends and family. However, eventually she did apologize. This all occurred during Pride Month, where Iggy would be dropped as a headlining act from a Pride festival due to the outrage. At this
Damn.
point, Iggy was just done. She decided to quit social media and step away from the public eye for a while so she could take a breather. But the hits just kept on coming. In September of 2015, T.I. did an interview where he made it known that he was cutting ties with Iggy.
She took some missteps that you tried to coach her on that she didn't listen to.
Damn.
I mean, yes.
You covered for her many times on this show.
I mean, but look though, the thing is, in her defense, she had a lot thrown at her at one time.
Very fast.
Was there a specific conversation that you had with her that made you think, you know what,
Damn.
I'm just gonna walk away and just leave the whole thing alone?
Yeah, after the Q-tip thing. And then, you know, after it was cool, you know what I mean? Everything was cool, and then they kind of came back and undid what I had just... Right now, I'm gonna block the bullets, okay? Now, go, you know what I mean? Now, when I say go, you know what I'm saying? Just go. Don't stand around and talk while I'm blocking bullets. You slowing me down, you know what I'm saying?
This news would go completely viral.
He's
forcing
kinda
Iggy
weird.
To momentarily lift her break from social media, tweeting that this is the first she has heard of them having an issue, that she is still signed to T.I., and she hopes he will clarify what he meant when he has the right platform. Until then, she's just
Damn.
chilling. Iggy should have been enjoying the height of her career, but instead, 2015 was filled
Surely
with
was T,
nonstop
bruh.
viral controversy, where she would
You
impulsively
think?
respond, only adding fuel to the fire. Her only option now was to isolate herself and work on a potential comeback.
When it was popular to shit on Iggy,
Yeah.
what was the lowest point for you?
That's tough because it was so many times that it was like, that's the lowest. And then I was like, no. We're going away.
Damn.
I don't know. There were
Being
times when I
publicly
just
shit on and talk
to
shit about
live
by everybody
from
is kind of
things,
insane.
You wanted to give up your career.
like my whole life.
Were you feeling?
Like sometimes I would drive through the canyons to get to my horses, and I'd be like, what if I just kept driving off the canyon?
Oh my god.
To like, oh, this
It
is it for your
is.
career now. So, and you know, like I live
That's
in this country on a
crazy.
work visa, so if I don't have a job, that means that I go home and my whole life is here. So that's like a lot for somebody to deal with. I didn't really feel like I did anything to be deserving of that much hate, to be like, okay, now we're taking everything from you. So I just kind of tried to go away.
Damn.
For me, I think the biggest issue for me was that
everything else got bigger than my music.
For 6 months, Iggy would stay completely out of the spotlight in hopes that all of the controversy she'd been embroiled in would be forgotten, utilizing her time away to work on her second studio album titled Digital Distortion. Now, in March of 2016,
Digital
Iggy
Distortion.
released the album's first single
How
titled
edgy.
Team. This song was Iggy dipping her toes back into the public eye as she would do several interviews not only promoting her new music, but also explaining her disappearance off the face of the planet.
I feel like I definitely had an emotional rock bottom. I think I felt a bit like a loss of my identity. You use technology and things are distorted that you read, misinformation.
Side though, you knew what you were getting into.
You might broadcast about yourself. Right. It was something that was greatly affecting my life.
And it's like, to have something amazing, you gotta give something up. And it's like, you knew what you're gonna be giving up. And that's, you know, safety from all this famous people shit.
I felt like I've got to take the power back and I'm going to do digital distortion and set the record
Deal with the
straight about it.
devil.
Unfortunately for Iggy, the damage had already been done to her image, and the public was simply not going to forget. Her new single Teams would debut and peak at number 42 on the Billboard charts, which was a pretty massive decline from her singles off the new classic. From here, her life would continue to spiral downward both professionally and personally. In March on Ryan Seacrest's radio show, Iggy announced that her wedding to Nick Young was being postponed as it conflicted with a tour she was planning. However, a little over a week after
postpone her wedding
video
for a
surfaced
tour.
online of Nick being secretly recorded while admitting to cheating on Iggy.
I remember that.
Yeah. How old was you? How? What you like? You was 30, she was 19?
The video quickly went viral. Nick Young, caught on tape, discussing his intimate relations with many women.
And Young said last night that he wants the two of them to
Oh my
handle it in a
God.
private way and to sit down and really talk it out.
The cheating allegations came at the absolute worst time for Iggy, as she was right in the middle of a PR tour for her
Damn.
upcoming album, doing non-stop interviews and performances. When she was faced
Not
with the question
surprised,
on the state
why?
of her relationship, she would brush it off, saying she is very much still engaged.
You're engaged to a Laker.
Yeah.
Nick Young, is that his name?
Yep.
There's all this controversy and.
Of course there is. There always is.
But
we're good.
You're good.
There isn't at home, just on the internet.
What's that?
That's okay. Just on the internet, not at home.
But at home you're good.
Yeah, I'm
good.
On June 12th, it was announced
That didn't seem
Iggy
very
would be joining
confident.
the judges panel on X Factor Australia, stating that she was looking forward to being near family. However, this announcement really confused her fans, as her album Digital Distortion was already supposed to be released, and there was no word on what was going on. Fast forward a week on June 19th, Iggy actually broke her silence, announcing that her wedding to Nick Young is completely off, and her album is now being postponed to the following year, so she can work on new material.
Iggy vented on Twitter, posting, "I broke up with Nick because I found out he had brought other women into our home while I was away and caught them on the security footage. The Laker, long dogged by cheating rumors, isn't commenting on that or on reports claiming that his baby mama may be pregnant with his second child."
Now, the album delay could have been due to the break.
Not surprised,
But it was also no secret that Iggy was having a lot of problems with Def Jam, her record label. See, fast forward to March of 2017, and Iggy dropped her single Mo Bounds.
Then sometimes people really do get fucked.
Switch featuring Anita released. However, these singles were complete commercial flops, as they never managed to hit the Billboard charts.
Despacito.
About my album pre-order because I have no idea when it's coming out. So, naturally I sent an email posing the question.
What is that filter?
Back this bullshit email from this guy called Bruce Carbone.
Just so fuck up. Nah, for real, bro.
I still don't have the paperwork done, so it's not gonna happen. I guess him and everybody else at that record label just decided to ignore what I had to say, so who knows when my album's coming out, guys? Shout out to David Massey, the head of Island Records, who emails me back and helps me get features on my album. More than my own actual label does.
Now, despite Iggy having no clue when her album would actually release, she would continue to work on it, even making the shocking announcement that she was going to collaborate on a track with her years-long rival, Azalea Banks.
No way.
To rest on Twitter, writing,
If you can't understand my desire to turn years worth of negativity into a positive interaction,
No
then
way,
that's your loss, my dear.
insane.
Unfortunately, just 1 month later, their collaboration would be canceled, as not only was
Yeah.
Def Jam refusing to release any more singles, but they were also going to permanently shelve Digital Distortion, flushing 2 years of work down the toilet. Now, after feuding with the CEO of
How
Def Jam,
do
Iggy would be
how do
released-
labels do this? Like, I don't get it. Like, they're like, yeah, I know you've been working this album for 2 years. We're just not gonna release. Like, is it really that much like politics and shit going down in these like record and music labels?
from the label.
That's crazy.
Shortly after, she would actually sign a new record deal with Island Records, who is also owned by Universal Music Group. Instead of a full album, Iggy actually began work on an EP titled Survive the Summer, which would be released in August of 2018. The single Cream featuring Tyga did chart, but
Oh,
overall,
I remember that
the EP
one.
pretty much
Yeah, I remember that
To
song.
promote the EP, Iggy was going to embark on a tour called Bad Girls, with Cupcake and
She
Megan
wanted
Thee
a
Stallion
tour
as the
so
opening
bad.
acts.
Oh my
Unfortunately,
god,
the tour
that'd have been
would be
crazy.
canceled, and it was rumored that the
What the
opening
fuck?
acts were dropping out as their pay was getting cut due to lack of ticket sales. All Iggy had to say on the matter was that the decision was out of her hands.
All she
Directly
ever
after
wanted
news
was a
broke that
tour,
Island
bro.
Records and Iggy Azalea were officially parting ways. Now, at this point, Iggy
Did she
just
ever
needed
get
to
her
break.
tour?
It had now been 4 years since she released the studio album, a string of singles that failed to chart, multiple tour cancellations, and she was now a completely unsigned artist. But in true Iggy Azalea fashion, she was not going to give up that quickly. Iggy decided to go completely independent, starting her
Third,
own
fourth
record
year
label, Bad
now.
Dreams Records, signing a multi-million-dollar distribution deal with Empire.
So I was nervous to see without, a gigantic person with like endless amounts of money like Universal.
She got like Jeffree Star right now.
Going to compare, but I think that it's been better. I can put out music whenever
Low key.
I want. I don't have to get things approved
So
by
nice.
anybody.
Right. 5 years after the new classic, Iggy's second studio album, In My Defense, was
It's
finally
true.
released. The album made it onto the charts, and Iggy's music videos were garnering a lot of buzz online. Overall, this album was kind of slated as Iggy Azalea's comeback, which in part is because of how long of a gap she had in between her first debut album and her second. But Iggy couldn't come back without her past popping up as well. In 2019,
She looks pretty
did an
tall.
interview on The Breakfast Club where
The
for the
banger.
first time in years, he addressed his project Iggy Azalea.
Adult
I gotta introduce
Swim.
another female to the game that can undo the blunder.
It's easy.
Why was she a blunder?
Instead of leaving us
Well,
hot
I really
on
feel like
that song.
like she was meant to be great. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel like when she found out
What song you talking about?
white people liked her and she didn't really need black people to like her anymore, she
Hmm.
switched up, started acting different, made moves that I wasn't proud of, that kind of placed my reputation in the line of fire. The raps were dope at first, you know what I mean? Of course she had
writers.
Their rap song.
and she
There's a lot of
exposed
songs called
herself
Adult
so
Swim.
much, and, you know, and it just
What, the Sway freestyle?
all of it, to
Yeah.
everything. Twitter has so much more potential. It could have been so bigger.
Iggy Azalea is clapping back at T.I.
Damn.
and called her a, quote, blunder to his career.
She said, "Bum with this guy, shut up. The only song you were ever a part of making was 100. Thank you for that. But you were not a part of the creative or executive process on that album, which is why I've always taken issue with you trying to approximate yourself with its success and stop trying to bring me up for relevance."
The controversy surrounding Iggy would pick up
Damn.
again in 2021 when she released a new single titled I Am the Strip Club off of her final album. Well, the music video went pretty viral online as Iggy looked notably different and was accused of, quote, blackfishing. Iggy
Oof.
fired back on Twitter saying, "I can't care about something that ridiculous and baseless. I am wearing a shade 6 in Armani foundation. It's the same shade I've worn for 3 years. Suddenly, I wear a black wig in a club scene and it's an issue." Iggy was already quitting the music industry, but this controversy
That's
solidified
crazy.
her decision. Her final album was titled The End of an Era, and along with this album's release, Iggy basically announced her
Slay.
retirement.
Is this actually it? Like, this is the album,
Fever
and then you're done
Dream.
making music for how long in your mind right now?
There are so many different factors to this decision, but I think that as I've gotten older, I just feel less willing to share certain things about my life, if I'm just being honest. For me, it made sense to do this project and then to not do anymore. Don't have to make music. Let's just be real. Like, I'm at a point in my life where it's like, I don't have to do that. That's not like
making me all the money to keep my lights on or something. You know,
Damn.
like I can
found it.
opt out of everything and I'd still have a very nice, happy life. So I'm really only doing this for my enjoyment. I really love being in the studio and making everything. I get really hyped up about putting it out, and then there's the weird level of scrutiny that I'm like, this is not enjoyable. I don't want to feel like I'm constantly having to play defense.
Real.
Everything remains silent on
Like, if
the
it's
Iggy
not
dance for about
fun,
a
you don't
year.
want to do
However,
it.
in
Especially when,
2022,
like,
rumors started swirling
that's why you love
that
it
she
so
was
much.
dating controversial rapper Tory Lanez. The two were
Tory.
at dinner, and he posted to his IG a picture of a meal that Iggy had cooked for him. Now, as the rumors are circulating, Tory tweeted out that Iggy is coming out of retirement, and he was going to executively produce her next album. Iggy actually confirmed this and tweeted out, quote, "A year ago, I was willing to walk away from music because I was tired of the negative
And
energy
Jeremiah
it attracted. But what I've learned
from
is that even when
YouTube.
I'm minding my business, y'all gonna be negative and nosy. So if I can't have peace, neither can you. I'm coming back. Cry about it."
I didn't realize you were behind like the new Iggy comeback, the new album. You're producing it, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be executive producing it. We've been working on it like for like a solid 2.5
He's
months.
such a small dude, too.
Do you think? Because I mean, look, numbers. Like, do you think you can see the Iggy, like the OG, like fancy Iggy numbers? Is this the real comeback?
Of course, you gotta think about it. This is somebody who played Diamond before.
Now, it is important to note that this was all happening just a couple months before Tory's trial for harming Megan Thee Stallion was set to begin. Now, Tory was convicted, and ahead of his sentencing, Iggy wrote a character letter on his behalf, telling the judge that she refused to believe he would do anything in malice, especially to a woman.
When word initially spread of her letter, she also took to Twitter to address the backlash. For the record, 1, I've not been in touch with Tory for months. I have no reason to be, but I do wish him well. 2, I don't support anyone. The whole thing is full of oddities. My letter never mentioned anything in regard to what happened that night. 3, I was told this is for a judge only, yet is being discussed in public. I never intended to publicly comment. 4, I'm not in support of throwing away anyone's life if we can give reasonable punishments that are rehabilitative instead. I support prison reform, period.
In August of 2023,
That's
Iggy would
insane.
go on to release Money Come with an accompanying music video. Presumably,
People have
the
so
album
much
she
drama in their
uploaded to
lives. That's
Tory before
crazy.
he went to jail. Now, Iggy would actually end up shelving this entire album.
Gotta find
once
the
again
light,
announcing her
real.
retirement from music, saying
Nothing
she just didn't
stays
have the
hidden.
passion to complete it.
Iggy Azalea pressing pause on her music career. The rapper announcing on X that she's scrapping that would-be 4th album. We know Iggy's got plenty
She
to keep her
is
busy.
getting kind of annoying now with these like half-ass attempts at things that she can never pan out because she gets involved in drama, whether she does it herself or other ways. I don't know. Dude, this fucking hairstyle had a grip on people back in the day. The dipped hair.
Between raking in the cash on OnlyFans, she reportedly earns millions.
Oh yeah, I
a year.
forgot she did
On
OFs.
Twitter, now I just do it on
And raising her now 3-year-old boy.
He's amazing. He's great. He's got his own little personality right now.
So that's the story of Iggy Azalea. Many career faults, many
Oh,
career
wow.
turns, a rapid rise to fame with one of the fastest falls Hollywood has
I remember
ever
that.
seen. Iggy Azalea back then was
To the
the
hair,
first
everyone did. It was
and
fire.
today,
I
she's
liked
just a
it.
name that brings up the nostalgia of 2014. But throughout that, Iggy Azalea has truly made her mark on pop culture. And her iconic music videos will always be known as shaping the pop culture landscape of 2014.
Turn up.